Good afternoon. Thank you all. Sorry for taking us a few minutes to get started and not being able to start till 5:15, trying to get everything set up. So by now, everyone should have received a notification that we made a decision to close schools again tomorrow due to the unsafe road conditions in neighborhoods and subdivisions, and that's where the majority of our students live, obviously. Our hope was that we would reopen tomorrow, but as I've told families since the beginning of the school year, safety is our number one concern, and we're always going to make sure that our students are safe. We realize that this is a difficult time through this storm for our community, but we want to remind everybody again, this is not just a once-in-a-decade storm. This is the most we've had in 30 years. Our community is not really set to deal with these kinds of storms at this magnitude, but have all really come together and done a great job trying to do that. So as a father, I want to say that I appreciate the position that families are in. I have a daughter who attends Knox County Schools and is a superintendent, and I'm very eager for students to get back to their regular routine of learning. But as we said before, I'm never going to compromise the safety of students, even for that important cause. So as you know, our central office and our principals reported today to our campuses, and that was good for us to be able to kind of get a look at the facilities and also to look at the buildings that we have. We have been monitoring those, but to have folks here was really good. And we're actually very encouraged by what we see. Our crews have done a great job, and I just want to recognize them now. Our maintenance crews have been working nights, have been working weekends, have come in and worked long hours to try to make sure that our campuses are in great shape. And so we really appreciate the work that they've done on that. But again, that is coupled with some of the road conditions are part of our problems. But again, we feel great about our campuses. And to give you some more insight into that, I'm going to turn over to Dr. Garfield Adams to give you updates on facilities and transportation.
Thank you, Dr. Reiswick. Good evening. As you heard from Dr. Reiswick, our teams have made excellent progress clearing campuses. I would like to echo Dr. Reiswick's sentiments. We certainly appreciate the work of our maintenance department as well as our transportation and security department to ensure the safety of our students. I'll go ahead and let you all know up front. Preparing campuses for students is a process. It takes a combination of time, temperature, and treatments to clear sidewalks, drives, and parking lots. As of this afternoon, a third of our campuses required additional work due to the concentration of ice on pavements. On some campuses, we've had to treat ice, scrape the ice, and come back for additional treatments as well. That being said, of this afternoon, approximately 2/3 of our campuses were prepared for safe return. And we anticipate our remaining facilities will be clear by tomorrow. Unfortunately, given the state of many access roads and subdivisions throughout the city and county, we will be unable to safely transport students to and from school. We have spoken with the county and our bus contractors, and as you know, the majority of our main roads are clear. However, student access to bus stops are typically not on main roads. Our kids live in subdivisions and neighborhoods, and many of those remain inaccessible. Our reports note that there are secondary roads and back roads in every sector that are currently not accessible. As a result, we estimate approximately 60% of bus stops could not be safely accessed for tomorrow. So as you heard from Dr. Reiswick, we ultimately made the decision not to return to school tomorrow. I'll turn this over to Dr. Keith Wilson, our Assistant Superintendent of Academics, to talk a bit more about what decisions were being made for students and families.
All right, thank you. And I'll be brief. Just want to start by saying again that we know this has been a challenging time for families. And to any of our families that are concerned about just interruptions to learning, we want to assure you that our teachers and our school leaders are going to be ready and prepared to begin instruction at the moment that it is safe to return to schools. In addition, as you know, our central office team returned today, and many members of that district team are already looking at options and ways that we can continue to support our schools as we already do through our 5 regions and those academic teams, and really help them to make good decisions about how to maximize time in the class that they do have and prioritize instruction as we move ahead. You also know that we will be officially out of inclement weather days as of tomorrow with this cancellation. So we plan to bring a proposal to the board on Thursday this week, and are already looking at some of our earliest opportunities to begin to build back some instructional time as soon as possible into the calendar. So with that, I will turn it back to Dr. Reiswick.
No, you're good. Thank you, Dr. Wilson. Just to say again, we're very eager in closing to get students back in school as soon as we can. We're going to continue to monitor the situation and the road conditions and how they go along. And again, we want to thank families and the community just for understanding. We know, it's frustrating but we're excited to get students back. And with that, we'll open up if you have any questions to try to field those. Yes, sir.
What kind of impacts might this have for any possible future planned vacations, say spring break and some of those 3-day weekend holidays?
Yeah, that's a great question. I mean, I'll say this. It's been a long time in our community since we've actually had to deal with that. I think our average, as we started looking at those over the past couple of years, like last year we used one of our inclement weather days. We probably had an average about 3 days that we've used over the course of the last 5 or 6 years. So it's been a while since we've dealt with this, but in our history, we have had to do these things before where we've exceeded those days. And ultimately, it'll be a calendar decision for the board. Our goal, and we understand families put down payments on things and do things like that. So we're going to try to be as flexible as possible. I think the option that we'll bring to the board, we'll try to find a way to recoup a few days without interfering with much of that for when you talk about spring breaks and those time periods. And then there's always an option, not knowing how many days we'd need, that you could tack on at the end of the year as an ultimate option we hopefully don't have to use.
Are you hopeful to be back on Thursday then, or I guess you got to make that decision?
Yeah, great question. I mean, we were hopeful to be back today. We really, we knew the temperature would be increasing, but same situation we're seeing kind of on county roads and everyone else. And I'm talking to Pellissippi, talking to UT Knoxville, and I think it's a situation we haven't faced in 30 years. So I mean, there's that hope with the rising temperatures we'd be able to get to this today. And again, our crews have done a great job of getting the campuses ready, but when you have days and days of those frigid temperatures and thick ice to break through and get through, it's just taking a little longer. And I think heard it said well, there's really no mechanical measure that's going to fix this. We really need a little help from Mother Nature to get the temperatures up to make the thawing level that we need across the county. Yes, sir.
So, to clarify, are all the schools accessible at this point?
Yeah. So I think Dr. Adams, you may want to address that. You'd given some numbers on the campuses.
So currently we have 2/3 of our schools that are accessible. By this evening, we hope to have all of our campuses cleared, and our teams, they plan on working throughout the night. So we should be clear. That does not include the back roads. Of course, we're just talking specifically to drives and what's on the campus itself, parking lots and sidewalks.
Question about the clearing of the roads. And you have Knox County, the school maintenance department behind you. Just tell me about the work that they did, as well as just any other options that y'all might have looked at when it came to clearing these roads and clearing these parking lots, whether that's third party, working with the county itself. Tell me about that.
Certainly, and I can't brag on these guys enough, the hours that they've put in and the work they've put in for this past weekend up until this point. But we've worked very closely with Knox County government. We've worked very closely with the city. We actually had ELC with the city, came out to a few of our sites, and they were clearing some of the roads to make it accessible for our guys to get in, and they cleared some of our lots as well. And so the Knox County government has been in close communication with us as far as assessing the roads and what they can do to reach out and help us. So it's been a great partnership between the Knox County government and the city of Knoxville.
Dr. Rice, if I could ask one more for you, just
Sure.
If you wouldn't mind just telling us just what you've heard this week when it comes to your interactions with parents, the people of Knox County, the families that are going to be impacted by this. What do you hope that they take away from this about this decision?
Yeah, I'm going to go back to what we said. I mean, we started our school year off this year talking about safety. That safety would be our top priority, and that has to continue to be mine. I mean, I understand 60,000 children come to school every day, and families and grandparents and parents really entrust that we're going to make a safe decision for that. And so that's really what I hope they take away, that we don't, those aren't just words for us, those are actions that we take to make sure students are safe. I think, you guys have reported some stories even today about some maintenance trucks and things in the county that have kind of turned over and crashed. I mean, our buses travel those same roads. I mean, it's my job to envision what would it look like if that were a bus, right? I've got to think about those kinds of things when 20,000 of our students rely on us for the transportation to get in. Buses aren't as nimble, they don't have four-wheel drive, all those kinds of pieces. We work with our bus contractors. We're in close contact with them too about when they feel like they can, where they're comfortable going and not. I mean, they're part of those decisions and conversations with us. So I think I would just say to families, we're working on plans to continue to make sure your students are academically ready, but our number one concern still is their safety. And I think, as a parent myself, whose daughter goes to Knox County Schools, I understand that. And I think families understand that, and actually has received a lot of support. I mean, as always, these situations are frustrating, especially when they go on for a long time. But we understand and appreciate the patience families have had.
One more thing I'd like to ask, just moving forward.
Yeah.
As you mentioned, you've hit that 8 of 8 mark. What is the plan moving forward if we were to experience inclement weather again? How does the school board move forward with that?
Yeah, I mean, so our job, as Dr. Wilson said, will be to continue to bring a plan to get to a certain amount of days. Of course, then you kind of move on from that point and kind of see. So, I mean, again, our hope would be we usually don't get one of these again in 30 years. So our hope is that this is the one for this year. But if we were to get other ones, we'll deal with that as we come. I think the plan that Dr. Wilson's talking about will buy us a few extra days. And would at least give a path forward for families to understand how we would cover those if we need those additional days. If we got another storm that was, 10 days, I mean, I think that would be everyone in the state pretty much would be dealing with that. So we'd probably look to the State Department and different people to see, if they'd be willing to give us some reprieve for that. And then we would just adjust based on what we hear back from there.
Just to clarify, has there been any conversations with the state during this storm?
So they're not during this storm, because typically you use your days first. There is a contingency planned that superintendents can. The information is you can ask for a waiver of days in the event of it's a natural disaster or serious illness outbreak. So it would be up to the commissioner to determine if this would qualify for either of those. At this point, we haven't exceeded our days, so there's not a reason to ask for that waiver. But obviously, we're gonna look at every possibility, especially if we were to get a lot of other days. So we're looking into all those possibilities down the road.
I asked a lot about families.
Sure.
If it's all right, I'd love to ask about the teachers, the staff. What's your message to the faculty who are still kind of at home, sitting tight, waiting to come back, and how to keep them hopeful?
Yeah, I mean, I may turn some of it to Dr. Wilson. I mean, I think we have the best teaching staff in the state, and they do a great job. I think, as evidenced by our students and the great outcomes that they have all the time. And so I know they're anxious to get back with their kids. That's their mission. That's what they do. We know that's important for them. A lot of them have students themselves. They're kids who come to school and do those for us. So specifics I'll let Dr. Wilson address. But we appreciate them and appreciate their patience too as we get ready to get back.
First, I just echo what Dr. Reiswick said. I mean, I think teachers, much like a lot of our students, their happy place is at school, around their peers and around their colleagues, around each other. And so I know that most of our folks are really excited to get back and ready to do that at this point, certainly. And as I said before, I just echo back into that. Again, anytime you have interruptions to the plans that you have and the instruction that you're planning for your classroom, obviously that takes adjustments. But our staff and our leaders are really good at keeping tabs on where our students are in their progress, and have a lot of tools and resources to do that. And so I would say they're ready to come back and make those adjustments as needed to serve their students well, which is what they do year in, year out, day to day for our students. So I just if there was a message for them, just to be encouraged and know that we're all looking forward to seeing them back, and I know that their students are as well.